What if someone claims an 84-year-old woman is dead, and then, hours later, says they saw her alive? Same sender. Same day. Same inbox at TMZ. And this isn't just any missing person case, it's the mother of Today's Show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie, taken from her home in Tucson, Arizona, over 2 months ago. Day 66. Nancy Guthrie has been missing since February 1st. No arrests. No clear motive. But on the exact morning Savannah returned to the Today Show for the first time since her mom vanished, 2 new notes landed in TMZ's inbox from the same person who's been writing since mid-February. One says Nancy is dead and they know where the body is. The other says they saw her alive in Sonora, Mexico, just 70 miles from Nancy's home near the border. 2 completely opposite claims from one sender on the same dramatic day. That contradiction stopped me cold, and it should stop you too. Because if this person is telling the truth about any of it, why can't their own story stay straight? Stick with me, this case just got even more twisted, and what these notes really reveal might change how you see the entire investigation. Let me break down exactly what these new messages say, because the details matter. The first note is blunt: Nancy Guthrie is no longer alive. The sender claims they know where her body is, they know who the kidnappers are, and they know exactly where those people are hiding right now. They're willing to hand over all of it, but only for half a Bitcoin up front. That's roughly $35,000 today. Then the second half after a public arrest is made. Think about that price for a second. The original ransom demand to the family was $6 million in Bitcoin. It supposedly dropped to $70,000. Now it's down to $35,000. The price of Nancy's life keeps getting cheaper, and that alone raises huge questions about who's really behind these messages. The sender swears they had nothing to do with the kidnapping. They say they've been outside the United States for over 5 years and aren't motivated by greed, they just want to start a quiet new life. Sounds almost reasonable, until you read the second note that arrived a few hours later from the exact same person. This one says, "I saw her alive with them in the state of Sonora, Mexico." Sonora sits right on the Arizona border, about 70 miles from Nancy's home in the Tucson area. It's the first time any note in this whole case has given a specific, real-world location like that. A detail specific enough to make your stomach drop. But here's the massive problem: the first note says she's dead. The second says she was seen alive. Same writer. Same morning. Those two things cannot both be true. That contradiction jumped out immediately to people who know how these communications work. Jason Pack, a retired FBI supervisory special agent with decades of experience analyzing exactly this kind of tip, spotted multiple red flags right away. First, the timing feels too perfect, or too convenient. These notes dropped on the same day Savannah Guthrie returned to national television after 2 months away dealing with her family's nightmare. Pack pointed out that real witnesses with life-or-death information don't usually wait for the most dramatic media moment to speak up. Third, the method itself screams wrong. Real witnesses with genuine information go straight to law enforcement, not entertainment media. They don't negotiate through TMZ. They don't demand Bitcoin in exchange for a body location or kidnapper details. Everything about how these notes were delivered points more toward someone chasing attention or a quick payday than someone who actually holds real answers. TMZ themselves called this sender incessant. That's their word. This person has been flooding them with messages since February 11th, almost 2 full months of shifting claims, demands, and stories. Yet in all that time, the FBI has taken no public action based on any of it. No arrests. No raids in Sonora. No searches triggered by these specific tips. According to reports, the FBI isn't convinced the notes are legitimate, and 0 transactions have hit the Bitcoin wallet the sender provided. The wallet sits empty. If this person truly had explosive information that could end the case, you'd expect someone, anyone, to have paid by now. But nobody has. That silence from law enforcement speaks volumes. Here's what makes this even more layered: not every ransom note in this case is automatically fake. Let's walk through the pattern carefully, because it matters. The very first notes arrived early, just days after Nancy disappeared on February 1st. Those went directly to the Guthrie family, not the media. They demanded $6 million in Bitcoin and included private details that weren't public yet, like exactly what Nancy was wearing and specific signs from the abduction scene. Savannah herself later said publicly that she believes at least some of the notes sent to the family were real. The FBI took those seriously. They tracked the wallets, contacted Mexican authorities, and investigated. Then the tone shifted. Notes started showing up at TMZ beginning February 11th. The first one there asked for 1 Bitcoin just for the kidnapper's name. More followed. And now these latest 2 on April 6th. Each time, the money demand shrinks dramatically while the claims grow bigger and more dramatic: dead, alive, specific location in Mexico, full details on the kidnappers. You see the pattern? Early notes to the family had non-public details only someone close to the crime might know. Later notes to TMZ are full of contradictions, shrinking asks, and unverified claims. It looks like 2 different senders with 2 different motives. One set might carry real weight. The other feels like noise. Retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Kaufman was blunt when she saw the newest messages. She called them flat-out fraudulent, not credible, not worth chasing. In her view, this sender has no real information and is simply trying to squeeze money out of a heartbreaking situation that has gripped the entire country. The Pima County Sheriff's Office keeps saying the same thing they always do: every tip gets reviewed and passed to detectives working with the FBI. But publicly, there's been zero movement on these TMZ notes. No raids. No confirmed leads. Nothing that suggests authorities believe this particular sender. So let's connect the bigger picture. In this investigation, the FBI is watching every Bitcoin transaction tied to the original ransom demands. Every wallet is under a microscope. Earlier tips and notes to the family got real follow-up. But these ongoing TMZ messages? Radio silence. Every fake or questionable note that grabs headlines creates noise. It pulls attention, stirs false hope or crushing despair for the family and the public, and gives the actual person or people responsible a little more breathing room while everyone chases shadows. It distracts from the real work happening behind the scenes: the surveillance footage, the forensic evidence, the quiet tracking of leads that actually matter. Nancy Guthrie is 84 years old. She was taken from her home in the middle of the night. There were signs of forced entry. Blood belonging to her was found. A masked figure was caught on camera. The family has offered rewards. Savannah has pleaded publicly, saying they will pay whatever it takes to bring her mom home safely. Yet here we are on day 66 with more contradictory notes instead of answers. The question you have to ask yourself is simple but heavy. If this latest sender really saw Nancy alive in Sonora, Mexico, why not call the FBI directly? If they truly know where a body is, why negotiate with a media outlet instead of law enforcement? And how can both "she is dead" and "I saw her alive" come from the same person on the same day? They can't. Someone is lying. The only real question is who, and why. Is it just a cruel opportunist trying to profit off a family's worst nightmare while the real kidnapper watches from the shadows? Or is there something even more calculated happening here, someone who knows that keeping the case swirling in confusion helps delay justice? This case has already shown how silence can protect the guilty, whether it's fear, loyalty, or something worse, keeping people from talking despite a $1.2 million reward. These latest notes add another layer of fog at the worst possible time.